managed to get it up. Put a couple of, well, put a temporary brace there. I've just braced it off the fence. Still braced off the tree. Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I would have liked it about 20 foot longer, but there's a pear tree in the way. And it's just the most sheltered spot for it here, I think. So I'll probably spend another morning, come in the morning, and I'll see what, I'll have to go and pick up a bit of timber, some battens and a bit of 2x2 and this, that and the other for the door frame and for the end. Yeah, I think when I get my braces in, it should be good. I mean, it's a strong structure, so I think it'll stand up to it. Right, see you tomorrow. Well, here we go. It's been a couple of days since my last video, and I've finished all the framework. Had a slight spot of bother with rain, which has held me back a bit. But basically it's all up and I've got all the braces in. These are the mesh screens for ventilation through, just kind of diagonally opposite. I've just started sheeting up, putting the plastic on, and I just remembered that someone might actually watch this, so I better do an update. So the frame is really solid now. There's no movement in it, torsionally, laterally, very little, minimal movement. Got these top braces in, which stiffen it, stop it waggling that way. We have the cross braces on the ends, which stop it doing that. I don't need any of this end, two are enough. I've hammered some more pegs in, I might have already said that, all the way around the perimeter and screwed them in so that this thing won't be sinking, and it'll also stop it lifting as well as burying the sheet. So I've just cut my sheet actually. The sheet to do it is 9.3 metres by 5 metres, which is about 30 foot by 16 foot. And to do this I cut a 9 foot piece on the end because the polytunnel is 9 foot wide, which gave me 9 by 16. The sheet was actually a bit bigger, so it gave me 9 feet by 17 feet, which I cut in half again, and that's enough to do the two ends. And then the main bulk of the sheet will go over, and there should be a 2 foot, 2.5 foot offcut on this end, which is left over, which will no doubt do for making some coal frames, or it might do for patching, keep hold of it for patching this up if anything bad happens. So that's where I am, and like I say, I'm about to start sheeting. I'll bring you into a quick look so you can see it better. There's my cross bracing from the ridge down to that arm there, and from the base to that corner, which makes everything nice and stiff. Some metal plates up there on the end of the ridge as well, little metal plates. And as I say, these extra pegs here, these wooden pegs, which are actually 2.5 foot long, and they've been hammered in and screwed up. So we've got the plastic on, guys, and I'll see you when the plastic's on. Cost so far £110 for the plastic and the timber for these base rails and these battens. The doorway is 6'6" by 32 inches wide, more than enough to get a wheelbarrow through. And can't wait to get this plastic on now. There we go, that is it, sheeted up. I did not film the sheeting of it. It was an absolute nightmare because of the wind. I was struggling a bit, but eventually I got it on. The sheet got a little bit creased up and crinkled, but there's no punctures or tears in it. I'll take you inside and just show you around it. It's having this path, so we've got a flag, the door to close against. We've got some of that weed membrane down for the path, and it will have two little boards all the way around that edge, a couple of inches high, and then the compost will be built up just to the bottom of that rail. About 3 to 4 inches of compost on. There's some tomato plants that I kind of brought from home. These are side shoot cuttings I took off my tomato plants because they're an F1 hybrid tomato, and I'd like to try and keep this alive over winter, these plants. So I'm going to grow these in here. I don't think I'll get any tomatoes off them, but I want to further take side shoots off these and just keep them alive over winter if I can. Probably not in here. I'll probably have to take them home for that. Keep them in the conservatory. This is all brash, which I'm turning into biochar in about a month's time, which will go on the beds. But it's a polytunnel finished. Quite a bit's happened since the last video clip I did, because I caught COVID and I was pretty rough for about a month. Just no energy, you know, usual symptoms. I'm sure a lot of you have had it, but it's taken a few weeks after I'd got rid of the COVID to sort of fully recover, get my strength back and really do much of anything. But it's sort of getting there now. I'm almost back to normal, whatever that is. But this is the polytunnel now finished. So I'll put the date of the last clip here now, and you can see sort of where I was back then. On the last clip, I remember I'd just got the plastic on the door, but nothing else had been done. I'd put some tomato plants in the ground, caught COVID, and that was pretty much it. But since then, I've put these kind of rollers on here, cut the vents in, and I put these wooden dowels, if you like. I cut a slot in them on the saw, then pushed a stick in to trap the plastic inside them. I left the stick extending out so that it can be rolled up and sit on these brackets. So the stick sits on these brackets. I really just need to make a couple more brackets rather than this bit of wire that's just temporarily holding it down. Same on here. God, same on here. These side vents working really well. That's the polytunnel finished. The poly house, I'm calling it, actually, poly house. Take you inside. The door has been finally finished, and it's got the meshing on the door ready to cut out a window or a vent in it, which I will kind of do that next year. I don't need to do it now. We haven't got the heat, and the ventilation from those two side vents is kind of more than enough to vent this house. So you can maybe see I had a few tomatoes there somewhere in pots on the last video, so I put these tomatoes in and they've done so well in here. I'll probably get some fruit off them before winter sets in and they die back. These are a small tiny sort of button tomato called Sun Gold, which are coming on really well. They produce huge trusses, super sweet tomatoes, are beautiful tomatoes they are. There's another side shoot which wants pulling off. I've had to stop these tomatoes, so I've broken the tops off just to stop them growing. I've been de-leafing them so that they kind of improve and ripen this fruit, but they're doing really well. But anyway, that's not what you came for. The polytunnel finished. I've put some of that baling string across there. I decided it didn't really need braces because the baling string is just going to be to rest the vine on when I get one, a grapevine, a seedless grapevine. I mean, if it needs it, I can always run a few sticks across to support it. But I'm planting the vine just outside in the centre there, bringing it in, up and down the poly house. I got the path in. So two boards down the side, board at the end with that weed membrane with cardboard underneath it. It's got about 4 inches of compost in here now, which you can see is almost topped up to the tops of these boards here. It will have another further 2 or 3 inches. I will probably end up going to the top of that sideboard and then sloping the soil back down to the path. This compost here has come out of the hot bin. Beautiful compost, it really is, and it is. It probably could have done to stay in a little bit longer. It's quite lumpy, but It's really good compost it's made. And the thing I really like about it, this compost's been in for quite a while now, and it's virtually growing no weed whatsoever. So the hot composting bin has done a great job of sort of sterilising the soil and killing all the weed seed out. You got to remember that this compost was what I basically trimmed off the allotment when I first started, which there was all kinds of nettles, there was everything in it, and nothing has come up. So the hot composting works really well. These are blueberries, which will be sort of wintering in the poly house, and then they will be going outside when the space has been cleared for them. But the polytunnel essentially is finished. I built that small staging area there in the corner about a week ago, or about a week ago. Built that small staging area and planted some seeds in it. There are some seeds coming up. I've got a few things that I want to put in here over winter, but mainly they're onions over there, which I know I'm a bit late planting them, but I'm going to try put them outside. Can't do any harm, they can only die. But yeah, that is it. Polytunnel finished. Very pleased with it, very pleased with it. The total cost is just over £100, about £110. You can see I've used all kind of bits of random wood that were sort of lying around the allotment just to finish it off. The plastic is from Premier Polytunnels, I think, and it was £67, and it's this moisture, these drops you can see on its rain. It's been raining here, so that's on the outside, and it's the heaviest weight, which is I think 700. It's guaranteed for 5 or 7 years, I can't remember, but it's the one that doesn't make drips on the inside, so it's got some kind of coating on it, so if there is condensation it doesn't form drips and drip down onto the plants, it just kind of coats the plastic. But yeah, and it has worked for that, because we had this heat wave here, and my god, it was like a sauna in here, yet there was no dripping coming off the plastic. It was just a light mist of condensation on it. So that's it guys, polytunnel finished. Overall I absolutely love it. It's just going to be a great space for trying to grow a bit of stuff in over winter and get the seedlings going for next year. Thanks to all my patrons, thanks for watching guys. Give it a thumb if you like it, or one if you don't. And I'll see you quite soon with an allotment update. Bye for now.